I'm going to show you a couple of ways now to find questions that people are asking online. If you're in a position of expertise and authority and you're able to jump in and answer those questions, maybe even before they've been asked, you can build up a lot of trust and authority in your particular space. So I'm going to show you how to find the questions that are already being asked and save you a lot of time. First up are forums. Forums are pretty old school compared to some of the newer technologies, but people still go to forums in order to ask questions. So let's look up property investment forum, for example. That's what we're going to do. We're going to put the word forum in after our niche area. So here we are, thepropertyforum.com, great, propertytribes.com, UK business forums. Let's jump into Property Tribes, for example. And once we're in, we ideally want to go to let's say we're looking at HMOs. Here we go. In most forums, there's an ability to search by the most viewed or the most popular topics, and that's what we're going to do here. So unanswered, new topics. We'll have a look at trending, perhaps. So in this one, we can't actually search by views, but ideally we'd be able to search by views for over all time, and then we'll be able to see the most popular content that's evergreen, so content that people have always been interested in. So this gives us a little idea of what's doing well. It's annoying that I can't search like that, but depending on the forum, you'll have different functionality. So we can see here there are certain ones that might have more views and more replies, and they're going to be the ones that we are interested in looking at. Let's quickly jump out and see if there's a forum that allows us to search by popularity, because it's going to be a bit more useful. But if you put your niche plus the word forum, you should be able to find a few. So there we go, property forum, general investment. So again, let's say we're looking at HMOs, there they are. And here we go, now we can search by views. Or we can filter by views, excuse me. So 239. There we go. So the top one was posted in 2017, and it's the biggest mistakes made by HMO investors. This has got the most views in this particular forum. Rooms in Reading, that's a bit specific. Demand demographics, fire safety, should I buy or build an HMO? These are all potential topic areas and questions that you can answer for your audience later. Best tenant market, difference between HMO and buy-to-let. All of these can be videos, all of these could be blog articles. So by finding things that are being asked in forums and that have a lot of views, a lot of replies, a lot of interaction around that question, you know you're on to a topic that is important to people within your market. Okay, so that's one way to do it. Another way, Quora. Quora is a social media platform that not that many people use. We'll talk about it later in terms of building authority, but it's also great for finding questions that people are asking. So again, let's put in property investment. You can actually see there is a topic called investment properties and property investment here. This one's got a picture. I'm going to guess it's a bigger one. Nope, that's not very big. 276. Follow. Okay, these are quite small. It doesn't particularly matter. Here we are, properties. Real estate investment, of course, is an American website, so we'll have a look at this. And then we can look at things like the most viewed writers. So Kurt Sutherland, for example, he's got 311 answers. So what we can look at here is we've looked at an area, which in this case is real estate investment. We've then looked at a top writer in this area, and then we've looked at a list of the questions that he's answered. So again, these questions here can give us ideas for content that we might want to address later. Is investing in real estate assets better than 401ks? Can you still make money in real estate? Obviously, these are a bit more American because the word real estate is being used, but we can still adapt that into a UK or an international market. It doesn't really matter. Should you get a property manager? Pitfalls at auctions? Potential, can I buy a house for a certain amount? These are all, again, questions that you might be able to answer. We can also just look at the most recent questions that are being asked, but these aren't going to be as evergreen as looking at the most popular questions. So again, all I did there was I put in a search here. So let's do weightlifting. Let's say my niche is weightlifting. So there's a topic again for strength training and weightlifting. So this has 800,000 followers, so this is a much bigger one. And then if you look down the right hand side, there might be some more specific niches. So let's say I'm doing strength training but focused on squats, which is a type of strength training. I might go there to look for my questions, but this will do for now. It's a strength training and weightlifting. These here are the most recent answers and questions, but again, I'm going to go to most viewed writers here, and then we've got Wilfredo Thomas, Joe Nagy, Sean Williams. So let's go to Wilfredo. There we go, and again we can see the questions that Wilfredo's been answering. So these are probably good ones for us to answer to. He's managed to build a reputation as the top writer in weightlifting, but this could be any niche, by answering these questions. So if you go onto YouTube and answer similar questions, talk about similar issues, or if you go onto Facebook, do the same, you're going to be able to build an audience around that. Okay, so again, it's Quora, Quora, and all we've done is put in our phrase, our topic in the search, find a community, look at the top writers in that community, and then see what kind of questions they've been answering all this time. Okay, now I'm going to move on to one of my personal favorites. This is Answer the Public. It's a very strange looking website, but it's extremely useful. So all we do again is enter the keyword that sorry, it's a bit distracting. We're going to enter the keyword that we're focusing on. So why not? Let's do weightlifting again. So we're going to do weightlifting, get questions. And Answer the Public specifically looks for questions that people are asking. And you'll see once it starts to bring them in. Here we go. So it uses prepositions like this and question words. So prepositions are here, and these are the question words. So who, what, why, what, when. This is the same as me going into Google and typing where can I do weightlifting, what do I need to do weightlifting, etc., etc. But Answer the Public does this all for you, as if we're asking all of these questions, and then it brings them all here. So weightlifting, where to start, weightlifting, where to buy, where did weightlifting originate, where was weightlifting fairy filmed, don't know what that is, that's probably not as relevant, where to buy weightlifting shoes, and then if we look around here, who won in weightlifting, why weightlifting is great, best weightlifting, etc. So it's given us a huge amount of potential questions, and again, these are questions that people are already asking. So if you jump onto social media and start to answer these questions, you become an authority. We also have prepositions. So weightlifting without, weightlifting for. Okay, this is fascinating. So climbers, boxers, cyclists, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, rugby. So these are different sub-niches. Weightlifting with flu, MS. Okay, these are very specific. Scoliosis. Weightlifting can and can't. So can weightlifting burn fat? Again, this would be a great blog article. And then comparisons, so versus, like, or, and. So these would be things like, yeah, here we are, weightlifting or CrossFit, weightlifting or cardio. And then down below, it will have alphabetical related search terms, which are useful, but not quite as useful as up here with these questions, comparisons, and prepositions. So if you click download CSV file, that's going to give you a list in a document, so you have a list of those questions. Again, we could do this for property investment. So let's do UK, oh no, HMO investment. This is a bit more specific, so I don't know what this will turn up. This is a free tool, but you get a certain number of searches per day, and then after that you're meant to pay. So as long as you just do a handful a day, you should be fine. So HMO investment is too specific. That's not giving me anything. So what I will do is put in HMO. Hopefully we'll get a bit more. Otherwise we might have to go wider to property investment. Or maybe something like multi-let, which might be a more used term. Okay, so HMO, this is much better. So HMO, where to buy. So again, we saw this in the forums, we saw this on Quora, we saw this previously on BuzzSumo as well. People were asking where is the best area to do certain property investment. When did licensing start? Here we are. HMO premiums tax deductible. Can HMO license be transferred? These are all questions that you can answer. What HMO means, stuff about licensing, prepositions again. HMO without planning permission, great. HMO for sale, HMO with money back. So if you want to, these would be if you're trying to teach people how to set up HMOs. If you are an expert and you want to teach people, then these would be really useful. HMO versus, okay, I'm not sure what these are. Versus buy-to-let. HMO versus flats, HMO versus service accommodation, etc. So again, pretty useful. You can also do it as data instead of visualization, then you don't have to turn your head quite as much. So that gives you an idea. Okay. So that's Answer the Public. So that's just answerthepublic.com. Again, it's free as long as you do a few searches per day. If you run out of searches, just come back the next day. Okay. Finally, I want to show you FAQ. So FAQ stands for frequently asked question. We're going to be using this primarily to look at competitors, because a lot of the time FAQs are going to be written by other people who are in your industry, other people who are doing what you are doing. So let's look at HMO FAQ. In this particular case, it's from councils. So HMO property licensing. So let's jump to here. So HMO Services London. This is probably a company that provides HMO help with licensing, help with management, I assume. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, so this is about compliance. This is a company who will come in and help you get your license, make sure you remain compliant. So maybe this is the type of area you're in, or if you're teaching people how to set up HMOs, you might be looking at providing similar kind of information to this company. So this could be considered a competitor, depending again on your business. So they have a property licensing FAQ, so it's frequently asked questions again. And all this is going to give us is a massive list of really useful questions that again you can answer and become an expert in your area by answering and providing these answers. Well, if I don't apply for a license, and then it's going to give you the restrictions. You can't evict tenants under section 21, for example. What you'll notice is this FAQ, as with 99% of FAQs and 99% of answers given on the internet, is in text. If you did nothing else but took this big long list, or maybe grabbed a few lists of questions, and just shot a few videos answering these questions, you'd be able to build a reputation, which would be, you'd be a lot more effective than a website like this, where you have to sit down and read it, because people prefer video. So again, note down these kind of questions, keep a note of the useful ones, keep a running log of everything. So we've looked at the forums, we've looked at Quora, we've looked at Answer the Public, we've looked at these FAQs, and these are always to directly find questions that you can answer in your content.